Hello everyone, this is Florian, and today's video is about customizing the help page of Qlik applications. Specifically, we will add the version number of the tool that we're going to write in this video to its help page. For those of you who don't know Qlik, it's a very popular Python package which helps you create line interfaces. Before we jump in, let's have a look at the final result. So what we are going to create is a tool called tool. This is a simple command line interface, and what it provides is a single command which is called do, and this do command prints a simple text. And if we execute it without further information, hello world is printed by default. We can override this behavior by supplying a custom text with a -t option, so we can say something like hello from Qlik, and then hello from Qlik is printed. And as you may already have spotted in the Qlik help page, you can see here that we also have the version number included. This is not the default behavior, and I will show you in this video how you can achieve that and how you can customize the Qlik help page in any way to print some custom text here at the beginning. So without further introduction, let's jump in. And so let's create our working directory first. We call this one CLI for simplicity. And in this directory, we need a tool directory where our command line interface will live in, as well as a virtual environment for our dependencies. And then we activate our virtual environment and install our dependency, which is Qlik. Next, we navigate into our tools directory and create 3 files. The first one is the init.py file, which will turn our tool directory into a proper package. The second one is the main.py file. This is the entry point for the command line tool, which you can specify in a setup.py file or in a pyproject.toml file if you really want to turn this project into a proper command line interface and share it with others. And last but not least, we need a decorators.py file where we will place our custom decorators in. Okay, so let's have a look at the structure of our project. As you can see, we have only one directory, which is tool, and inside of it we have the decorators.py file, the init.py file, and the main.py file. All right, so let's open the project in Visual Studio Code. And we start by writing our init.py file. So everything that is needed in here is first a docstring. And inside of the docstring, we will specify the name of the tool, which is tool for simplicity. And the second line is a proper description of this tool. So for instance, this is a sample command line interface for a video. And furthermore, we will specify the version in here of our package. And for now, we will go with 1.2.3. So this is the version of our command line interface. And that's basically all for the init.py file. And let's head over to our main.py file where our command line interface will live in. In essence, we need 2 functions. The first one is called CLI. This one will be our group command. This is pretty similar to what Docker is doing. So if you are familiar with Docker and you are just typing on your command line Docker, nothing will happen, but the help page will be displayed. So a list of all the available commands. And the second function will be our do function, which takes a text and prints it to the terminal. This will be the only command our command line interface provides. The nice thing about Qlik is that it automatically generates a help page for us. And to do so, it uses the docstrings of the functions that we use. For instance, the docstring of this CLI function, which will be our group command, will be used in the main part of the help page. So we will write here something like welcome to the help page of tool, which is the name of our command line tool. And you can use it with tool so supplying a certain command here. And the do command does nothing else but prints text to the terminal, so prints a specified text to the terminal. Now what's left is we need to turn this CLI function into a proper group command and this do function into a command which is part of this CLI group command. And to do so, we need to import click first. And click provides a variety of decorators which we can apply to functions in order to turn them into commands, group commands, and so on and so forth. So to turn our CLI function into a group command, we need to apply the click.group decorator to it. And we also want to pass some context to it. Pass context. This context passing and CTX over here will then include the context which is passed to this function. Is out of the scope for this video, but we will include it here for completeness. So now we have a proper group command, and let's tell click that do is a command of this CLI group command. And to do so, we can write something like CLI, which is the name of our group command now, and say something like command, which turns our do function into a command of the CLI group command, which we defined over here. And we also want to pass a context to it, so click.pass context, and this needs to be the first argument. What we also want to do is to print hello world by default, but also give the user the chance to override this behavior, and we can accomplish that by saying click.option. So we add an option to this click command, and the short version of it is called -t, and the long version is called --text. And by default, hello world should be printed, and the help text for this option will be text to print. All right, at this point there is only one thing missing. So if this module is invoked directly via the terminal, which we are going to do, then we want to invoke the CLI function. So let's see if our command line interface already works. Head over to the terminal and run tool dynamain.py. As we can see here, welcome to the help page of tool. And this is the way tool is usually invoked. And the commands available are only the do command, which prints a specified text to the terminal. We can invoke the do command, which prints hello world by default. We can already override this behavior, hello from click. And we can also print the help page of the do command. So prints a specified text to the terminal, and it has one option, the -t command, the -t option, sorry, which is the text which is printed to the terminal. All right, this is already very good. What's missing at this point is that if we have a look at the entry help page of the tool, no version number is printed, and this would be very good. It helps people find out the version of our tool in order to properly submit issues to GitHub, for instance. So let's do this next. Typically, you would go to the CLI function and write here something like version 1.2.3. And if we head over to the terminal again and have a look at the help page, we will see that the version is already printed. The advantage is that it's pretty simple. The downside of it is that you now need to change it at two places. The first one is the init.py file where it is specified, and the second one is here in the docstring. And if you also have a readme.md file, for instance, for your project, you will have a third place where you need to adjust the version number if you increase it. What we would like to achieve in this video is to inject this version number here dynamically, so that the only place where you need to change it is here in the init.py file. So let's open the decorators.py file that we just created and close our init.py file and create a new decorator. Let's call the function @version, and what it takes is a function. Let's call it f for simplicity, and you can access the docstring of a function via the $doc attribute, and here we will save it to a local variable called doc. Next, we want to override the docstring of the function. We can do that by simply assigning a new string to this doc attribute, and we will use an f string for this. And we want to print version and the version number first. We need to import the version number from our init file. So from tool import version. Then we want some space after the version number, so we insert 2 new line characters followed by the old docstring. Last but not least, we simply return the function. And that's basically it. What's now left is that we need to apply this @version decorator to our CLI group command. So we head over to CLI and then apply the @version decorator to it, and we need to import it first. So from tool.decorators import @version, and now this decorator is applied to the CLI group command. It is important that you apply the @version decorator before you apply the click decorators to it, because this decorator can only handle plain functions. After you applied the click group command, for instance, this is not a plain function anymore, but a click command. If we now go to the terminal and run it again, we can see that our version is printed here. And now check whether it is updated if we update it in our init.py file. So let's bump a major version 2.2.3. If you run it again, we can see the version is now 2.2.3. All right, that's all for today. Write in the comments whether you already worked with Click, and if you liked it, stay curious and keep coding.